is meant for an adult audience. LoveLine may contain sexually oriented content. Listener discretion is advised.
Now, here's LoveLine with Dr. Drew
and Adam Carolla.
Well, that is right. It is LoveLine. It's the last day of the week for us. It's Thursday night. We're going to go out on a high note tonight. It's just me and Drew. No guests. We've got Mike DeLuise, son of Dom DeLuise, coming in on Monday. He was the guy on 21 Jump Street. He's on Sequest. He's on NYPD Blue. He's all over the place. So we'll see him on Sunday. But tonight it's just me and Drew. Let me give the numbers out, Drew. Hold on a second there, Drew. Wait a minute. Let me just introduce Drew. Drew is a addiction medicine specialist. He's a board-certified physician. I got a quick question for you, Drew. You ever done any drugs?
When I was 19, I ate about 4 boiled peyote buttons and stayed up all night but felt no effect.
All right, so it really didn't kick in.
You got to turn my mic on. Now, you guys, how long ahead did you guys plan that thing? Just for our listeners' benefit, I was sitting there talking into a dead mic, and they put a tape in of something that I read off of fax last night, for Christ's sake.
Using the Lord's name in vain, Drew.
Stuff like this makes me sick. You know, it's not that hard for me to go in there and rip off all those tapes off Mike's desk.
All right, but you're a very big man who's interested in nothing but ratings. That's the beauty of you, Doc.
Yeah, thank you.
And Mike, I apologize. I carried on a little too long at the top, and Drew got wise to us. But let me give the phone numbers out. 1-800-LOVE-191, 1-800-568-3191. Faxes, 310-854-4455. I'm Adam Carolla. That's Dr. Drew, and this is Stephanie. Stephanie, you're on LoveLine.
Hi, Dr. Drew?
Stephanie.
Hi, I had a question. Well, actually, there's 2 questions. I accidentally overtook, I took Prozac, the prescription I'm taking for depression right now.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't my fault. It was the pharmacist's fault.
What did you take?
My prescription was for 30 milligrams, but they gave me 20 milligram tablets.
So you took 60?
No, I took 3.
Took 3 of the 20s, which is 60.
Yeah.
And you did that today?
This morning, and I just didn't
It'll make you a little bit edgy and anxious today. It might make you have some trouble sleeping tonight, but just skip your dose tomorrow.
Is Prozac speedy?
It can be for people, yeah.
No, it just made me feel sleepy.
It made you drowsy. That's interesting. A lot of people get kind of edgy and anxious from it, but
no, and just kind of like real claustrophobic and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Just skip tomorrow's dose because it has a very long half-life. It stays in your blood about a week, so by the day after tomorrow, you'll be back where you were before you took your big dose this morning.
So you could take all your Prozac on a Monday and then just glide through the week?
No.
And probably
No.
a week.
No.
Another thing was does it kind of take the urge out of sexual?
Yes, it does. That's the most frequent and disturbing side effect that people come to me with about that medicine. In fact, all the medicines in that class, all the serotonin reuptake inhibitors, tend to cause that as a side effect.
And we've talked about this before, that nothing is free.
Yeah,
you either have sanity or a boner, but you don't get both.
Okay.
Well, it just when you mess around with Mother Nature, there's a cost. There's always a cost.
But the cost goes straight for the crotch, like a freaking arrow every time.
Just because that's where your concern is, Adam, it seems like it's always that way for you.
What do you mean? It's Stephanie's concern,
Stephanie's because she's experiencing it. It's troubling and bothersome. And
yeah.
Listen, the interesting thing about Prozac is I've been practicing and consulting as long as Prozac has been around. And when it first came out, you never heard that complaint. It's because it's a very effective medicine, and the people that were severely depressed, for whom it worked, were so relieved at feeling better they didn't care about that side effect. They never reported it.
I know.
Now I think every time I see someone on it or prescribe it, that's the side effect people come back with.
I mean, it's a great product and everything like that, but it's just for the sexual part, it just doesn't cut it. Is there anything else that you could take besides that?
Talk to your doctor. There's a lot of different choices these days.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Oh, thanks a lot.
Good luck. Terry.
Hello?
You're on LoveLine.
Hi.
Hey.
Question.
Yeah.
I just did a foursome this weekend.
Wow.
It's like,
wait, let me just get something real straight. You always count yourself when you give the sum number after it, right?
Yeah. So
Foursome means you and 3 others. Threesome's you and 2 others.
Right.
Sextupsome is you and a soccer team, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was kind of curious about my sexual orientation until then.
Oh, that straightened it out? Having a guy with something in your butt and something in your crotch and something in your ear straightened everything out? The picture became more clear?
Kind of. Well, I was just curious about, other females, but after doing it with another female or just like touching another female grosses me out now.
Okay, so
But you had to be mounted by a female in order to come to that?
Well, no, I just had to touch another female to come to that.
You know, I got to say, women, are they more experimental by nature in a strange way? What I mean is...
No, they're just more open to their feelings about these things, and then they are sometimes willing to experiment a bit.
All right, but here's all I'm saying. I know guys who are gay, and I know guys who are straight, and the straight guys don't think about it.
Right,
I mean, it's not like I'm driving on the freeway one night and I get like a hankering for some schlong or something, and then I go, nah, I better not. I'm in a stable relationship. I don't want to jeopardize it.
Right,
I don't think about it.
Right.
I mean, I couldn't even imagine. It would be, if a penis touched me, it would be like an inadvertent thing at the gym. It would be a mistake, and I would wince when I thought about it. Girls aren't like that. They're kind of like, yeah.
Can you understand why that would be, though? I mean, if you had to hypothesize, what would you think?
I'll tell you what I think. I think the penis is much more dangerous sexually than a vagina. That's
Terry,
what I would think.
Why do I ask questions like that of him? Why? I think it's more the fact that femininity and female objects are what we associate with eroticism and sexuality in our culture, and so everybody gets attracted.
So
to that.
men appreciate women, and women appreciate women.
That's what's identified in our culture as sexual. You know,
that's true.
And then also there are barriers to men even entertaining homosexual thoughts. In reality, men probably have it as frequently as women.
You know what my barrier is? My underwear.
Right.
That would be the barrier.
That's the only one, though, huh?
Well, and then the pants that are up over the underwear, and then the sofa that my ass is planted against to protect the pants and the underwear. But no, that's true. A woman will see a woman. Oh, with the beeper. Drew gets beeped 3 times a show, and it always gets him pissed off.
Days.
But let me just finish this point. When a man sees a good-looking guy, I'll go back. When a woman sees a beautiful woman, she'll go, she's really beautiful.
Right.
Oh, she's beautiful.
Right.
I mean, they'll go, oh, that Liz Taylor. Oh, when she was in her prime.
Right.
Oh.
Right.
And when a guy sees a good-looking guy, homo, look at him. Look at that homo. No penis at all. And it's funny that gay guys appreciate the women, too.
That's right.
They'll go, oh, Liz Taylor.
Right.
That's why gay guys love Liz Taylor. They'll go, Liz Taylor's she's getting a 3rd hip put in somewhere. And I go, BFD. Who gives a rat's ass about Liz Taylor? And I go, oh, but she was so beautiful in the 50s. So the gays like the aesthetic stuff, too.
That's right.
Which is more of a feminine point of view.
It tends to be.
All right. I think I've straightened everything out.
Hey, Terry, this is a case in point for me of why you shouldn't act out on your ambivalent feelings, that for the most part you end up with a lot of unpleasant feelings and more confusion when you do that, wouldn't you say?
Do you have more confusion?
Yeah, well,
just unpleasant. She's a little clearer on things, but she's also regretful, and you don't feel good. And do you feel bad?
Wait a minute, you're thrusting that on her.
You tell me, Terry, is that accurate or not?
it's really sick to my stomach.
I guess that would be a good feeling out of it. Okay, Terry. The point is, somehow our culture has gotten the idea, at least these days, that you're supposed to act out on every whim you have, and I'm telling you. Don't do things you're not ready to do. Don't do things until you're really clear it's what you want to do. It generates all kinds of feelings that you don't anticipate.
Well, everyone thinks they have to go out and do it in order to figure out they don't want to do it.
Right.
Like,
it's crazy.
I don't want to be sodomized. I don't want to be ran over by a truck.
Right.
I don't want to pierce my testicles. I don't want to walk on glass. All things that I know I don't want to do without even coming close to trying them. Drew is being paged again. Drew, could you get your mind on the show, please? Patrick, you're on LoveLine.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good.
All right. Hey, Adam, got something for you. No, it's not a chick.
Hey.
Was at the zoo the other day, and I found out that snakes, you know how their tongue goes out and like forks off and all?
Yeah.
Their dick does the same thing.
Really?
I am dead serious.
But they can't spit it out and grab like a lizard or something with it, can they?
By God, I wish.
Wouldn't that be dangerous capability if man had a penis like a gecko lizard's tongue, where you could just be at a mall or something and some good-looking girl you could like from 20 feet away just whoosh, pop and like reel her in? Could you imagine what would happen to society? You would have to put your girlfriend in a cage and put wheels on it and roll her around just to go shopping.
Hey, now, so long as I'm in the cage, it's cool.
Well, no, you're not in the cage, Pat. We're putting
in the cage with her.
No, we're putting her in a cage to keep her away from you and your gecko penis. All right, thank you for the very important information. Drew, did you know they
No, I didn't know that. And I still don't know if that means there were two of them or just a split.
Forked. I'm thinking forked. Snake phileo weenus. Reptiles speak with fork penis. That was my American Indian, by the way.
Beautiful.
Audrey.
Yeah, I was just calling. I think you guys are great, and I just want you to know that I'm not getting any sex just because I called you. My boyfriend's mad at me.
Oh, because you called the show?
Yeah.
Where is he?
He's in bed next to me.
Let me talk to him.
Hold on. I want to talk to you.
Hello?
Poor guy.
You're not giving Audrey any sex tonight?
Well, we just got finished a little while ago.
Oh, you did?
Called you, yeah.
Yeah, she called in with a problem. You know what it was?
Yeah, I know what it was.
Yeah,
What?
premature ejaculation, she said. That's what the screener told us.
I'm going to beat her.
Now, don't kid about that.
All right, we better get Audrey back.
All right, put Audrey back. You go back to your little Baywatch fantasy.
He's too stimulating.
Hello?
Audrey.
Yeah.
You had a question.
Okay. I went to see my doctor because I wasn't feeling too well, and it turned out that she told me I had like a yeast infection, which that doesn't bother me because that's like normal female stuff. But then she told me that I have some sort of cellular overgrowth that she says is like transmittable from like either sex or like she says there have been like rare cases of nuns getting it, and I'm just worried like
nuns. Oh, you're. I know what you have. Yes, she has hymen mazuma. She's growing a hymen. That's what it is, right?
I wish I was, but I doubt that.
Or immaculate condyloma.
Yeah.
Are you talking about warts?
No, she wasn't a GYN specialist, so she couldn't really get it.
Audrey, I can't tell what you're describing based on what you're telling me.
Cellular overgrowth.
A wart is a cellular overgrowth, okay?
Okay.
So I suspect that maybe she was sort of softening without using, because people panic at the term wart.
Right.
And maybe she was trying to sort of soften the language for
It's
you.
like when people call me eccentric or colorful or abrasive instead of an asshole. You know, there's certain terms that just they're more pleasant.
But she said it was treatable. Are warts treatable?
Warts are treatable, but they're not curable.
They're not curable.
I'm not sure what she's describing. I mean, there are different. To me, it also could mean precancerous things. I don't know what she's talking about there, but wart virus is something that is transmissible back and forth between the sexes. It's more transmissible if you have more warts, and the warts can be controlled through various methods. But you will always have the virus. You will always be potentially contagious, and you will always have an increased risk of cervical cancer if you're a woman.
Drew, let me ask you this. First off, found out something interesting. Found out that, saw it on the news today, they were talking about, what is it when you have your uterus removed? Hysterectomy. They were talking about instead of removing the lining, they flush it out with hot water. And that works. They've been testing it on sheep.
Right.
So this is a new thing, apparently.
It's a new human study going on, right?
Yeah. So, Ann,
Thanks
the
for
producer, you are in fine shape, baby.
What, do you want to flush Ann out?
Well, Ann gives herself like she's.
What have you been talking to Ann about?
No, I'm just saying that Ann, with their bathtub technique, is never, ever going to have to go into the surgeon's knife again.
That's right.
I mean, she's been practicing this technique for, years now. But I wanted to ask you about yeast infections. How come some girls get yeast infections all the time?
Is there a personal
story
here?
God damn it.
Yes, there's a really urgency to this question, I suspect.
Yeah, you know, when I do that,
yes.
I mean it.
And, because they do. It's really, there are reasons that people can get predisposed for that. Medication, stress, diabetes.
Too much girth in the penis.
Well, new sexual contacts. Anything that changes the environment in the vagina. Some people get it from condoms. And it's a common thing. It doesn't necessarily mean there's anything wrong with the women. The treatments are now available over the counter. You get Monistat and things. What?
No, I know. I'm just, It was just brought up.
Don't worry, you won't get another case of,
that's all.
yeast on your genitalia.
That's all I care about. Jennifer,
Hi.
you're on LoveLine.
Thanks. Dr. Drew, this is basically for you.
Mm-hmm.
My boyfriend and I
She is carefully directing this away from you, Adam. So
Don't worry. I'm poised like a panther to jump in.
Okay. My boyfriend and I are basically getting along really great, but there's just one problem. We're both kind of shy, and he's more shy than I am about talking about sex and what he needs, and I'm kind of shy about, making sure that I'm doing what he needs and what he wants. How can I get him to open up a little bit more?
I don't think you... All right, go ahead. Drew, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, it was directed at you.
Well, you're going to talk anyway.
Yeah, okay. All right, here we go. Jennifer.
Uh-huh.
Here's my thing. You find out what a guy likes sexually, and a guy finds out what you like sexually, much like a dentist when he's looking for a cavity.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's the way a dentist works. You open your mouth, you lean back in the chair. I have no idea where I'm going with this. He takes that godforsaken stick, and he starts pointing around it, and he starts poking.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually you make a face and go, and he knows maybe he's went a little too far.
Okay.
So he moves back a little with the drill or whatever it is. He watches you. He sees when you tense up. He sees the expression in your face. He sees your body language. And it's the same thing sexually. You get involved. You start doing some stuff. You start stroking. You start rubbing.
So you're
you
saying,
start experimenting.
all right.
Then you get out the drill.
So you're saying that he doesn't they don't have to talk about it necessarily. They have to sort of explore.
Yeah, I mean...
How long have you guys been together?
We've been living together for the past year. We've been together for 2 years.
Living together for you.
Yeah, it's time for a cleaning. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do you perform oral sex for him?
He's kind of timid about that. He's not really too crazy about that idea.
Are you?
What is that?
Yeah, well, I know, Adam. You just can't understand that, but
certainly can't.
But what is that compelled you to call? I mean, is it you that are maybe perhaps are less comfortable or less happy with things? And sounds like he's pretty happy.
Where is he?
He's on his way home.
I think it's that Jennifer is not happy with things.
Yeah,
she wants it. It doesn't seem to be connected enough for her, right?
Is he not floating your boat sexually either?
No, but he's doing everything he needs to do.
All right, he's got no passion. He's like a boat with no sail in his wind, just floating around out in the open sea. Am I right?
No.
Yes, I am. You want a man with some initiative. You want a man who can grab a handful of your hair and say something dirty in your ear, smack you on the behind a little bit and say, "Tonight, baby, we're doing it this way." Am I right, Jennifer?
Kind of.
Yeah, you want a take charge guy. You want a pirate. You don't want the cook. You don't want the guy down in the galley peeling the potatoes. You want the guy up on the mast in the crow's nest going like, "Avast there! I'm coming on board!" and batten down the main hatch and the gangplank and all that crap, right?
Yeah, kind
You want a man. He's not acting like a man.
Well, she just said that he's timid and has trouble opening up and stuff.
He's very, very shy.
Yeah.
He's very timid.
And all you can do is encourage him and make him feel comfortable and reassure him that you're there for him.
No,
yes,
you need to rattle his cage. He's like a sleeping bear at the zoo. You need to take a metal cup and drag it along the bars a little, poke him with a stick, get him pacing around there, give him a paw at you a little.
I think once their relationship becomes more comfortable and he feels more
they're
comfortable.
living together
For
a year.
For a year.
Okay,
They should be
maybe-
bored of each other sexually by now.
No, not necessarily.
No, there's no boredom at all. Or I'm not bored.
Oh, you don't sound bored. Yeah. And what would you do?
I mean, have you talked to him about it?
Yeah, Ann would go running for the tub.
Get him to sit on the toilet while you're in the bathtub.
Whoa, come on, Ann.
Come on, Ann.
I'm outnumbered here.
Have you talked to him about this?
I try to get him to talk, but he's really shy about talking about anything that has to do about sex. He's just one of those people that's really shy and reclusive.
Is he religious? Did he grow up a certain way? Brought up, that sex
No,
was
he's not
bad?
very religious. He's just very timid and very shy. When it comes to the actual act itself, he's not. It's just talking about it, and I'm kind of like insecure about,
All right, let me tell you.
Don't initiate things.
You need to introduce something to sort of stimulate him, like a drink or something. I mean, and some, 9-inch nails and a couple of beers, and then you need to get like a riding crop and yell, Mach Schnell, and smack him in the ass. You need to kickstart this guy. You need to get him going. Being nice and just talking to him and just, coddling him is going to get more of the same, more oatmeal dumped on you in the sack.
Call LoveLine, 1-800-LOVE-191. LoveLine. We'll be right back.
Hey, that has a nice groove to it, Mike. Thank you very much for putting that on. Phone numbers, 1-800-LOVE-191, 1-800-568-3191. Fax number, 310-854-4455. I am Adam Carolla. That is Dr. Drew.
Yeah, that is.
Yes, he is. He's
Reading
going through some faxes.
Yeah.
He got off his pager. He's ready to go. He's 100%. He's a team player. April,
Hi.
you're on LoveLine.
I have a problem for Dr. Drew.
Go right ahead.
Me and my boyfriend last had sex on Sunday, and ever since I've been bleeding ever since.
5 days, 6 days, huh?
Yeah. Well, it's kind of been off and on, but today it was like really bad.
Is your period a little bit early? Is it
No, actually, my period won't come till like the 20th.
20th of February?
Yeah.
This was your first time having sex?
No.
It was not your first time. Well, are you on the pill or anything like that?
No.
Are you on medications?
Nope.
You ever had any ovarian cyst or endometriosis, any of those sorts of problems? Having intercourse can, for some women, stimulate bleeding, more commonly near the menstrual period. Why you'd be having that now, I'm not sure. Do you normally have very regular cycles?
Yeah.
Very regular.
Yeah. No problems at all. I'm just like,
okay.
It's when it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
every
it's
time.
probably nothing, frankly, but you ought to see someone get
It's
a
probably
it's
nothing.
Probably nothing. That intercourse can stimulate bleeding.
For 5 days?
It's not 40 days and 40 nights, Adam. It's 5 days, and it's been intermittent.
Yes,
it's not
Noah,
uncommon.
5 days is plenty.
No, it's very common. It's a little bit longer
I
than I would
bleed for a
expect.
half hour, I'm running for the emergency
Yeah, but
room.
you don't
5
bleed-
days.
You don't bleed 3 days out of every 5 days every month.
I don't? See, that's where you're wrong.
If you do, you need a special test. But I'll tell you what, there are certainly other things that can do this, ovarian cysts and endometriosis and growths inside the vagina and cervix. So you ought to have it checked out just to be sure, okay?
Okay.
All right.
All right, April. Well, she seemed pretty jovial for
Well, it's
someone
not
who
that
was
big a-
bleeding
it's
for
not
5
that big a
She's
deal,
got
Adam.
1 foot in the grave.
Oh, for
Are you
Christ's
nuts? Renee.
Yeah, hi, Adam. Hi, Drew.
Hi.
Hi. Okay, well, this is my problem. Well, I lost my virginity when I was 14 years old. I was going out with this guy for a little while, and, I don't know why, but I gave myself up to him. And,
How old was he?
He was 16.
And was that the first time you ever had any kind of sexual
What?
encounter? Was that the first time you ever had any kind of sexual encounter?
Yeah. And, so I ended up sleeping with him after a pretty short time, and I was kind of stupid. I was pretty young. This is about.
And you thought, let me paint the usual scenario for a 14-year-old. You were convinced this was the guy you were going to marry.
Exactly.
And therefore, it didn't matter, so you might as well have a physical relationship with him because, of course, he was probably threatening to leave you if you didn't.
Exactly. Well, let me continue my story.
Guys are really pigs, aren't they?
Yeah, you speak like you don't have a penis, Drew. I don't know who you're trying to. I'm not quite sure what your angle is here, Drew. As I see you, you're a guy, so you go around guy bashing, and look at you. You got the scrotum, you got the penis, you got a little hair on the lip. You're a guy.
I do.
So quit bashing guys.
All right.
Some guys. Yes, go ahead, Renee.
So, I ended up, after we had sex twice, and then I ended up feeling, really uncomfortable, and I said, this is just not right. And
Right.
so I ended up telling him, I don't feel comfortable doing this.
Good.
I'm too young.
Healthy reaction.
And he dumped me.
Ugh.
And he totally broke my heart. And, since this is, my first guy, I was just really attached.
Sure.
It was really hard for me.
Sure.
And after that, for about, a year and a half, I just couldn't, get close to any guys.
Of course.
I met this guy that I totally liked, and he wanted, things didn't, like, he wanted to have sex with me, but, like, I just couldn't, And then maybe a half a year after that, I met this other guy, and I ended up sleeping with him, like, after, this was maybe, like, 2 years after the first guy. And that went really bad, too. Like,
why?
I don't know. It just didn't work out. Like, we had sex a few times, and, like, I don't know, just things weren't working between us, and we started fighting a lot and stuff.
All right.
And this was, like, I don't know, this was maybe a half a year ago or so, and like ever since then I just can't get myself to be with any guy. I just can't, and I can't like get close to any guy, and I don't know why,
Well, no, if you
What do you mean you don't know why? Everyone who's listening knows why. You had some bad experiences.
You were genuinely hurt.
Yeah, guy's no different than like you put your arm down like a badger's burrow or something, and you get bit 3 times in a row, and you want to know why you're a little reluctant to reach down it. That's why.
Right, and I'm not so sure it's an unhealthy kind of a position for you to be in. And I've heard other young people your age complain of this kind of thing. They do something way too early. And the healthy reaction is, gee, that really hurt me. I'm going to be more careful next time. And maybe when I'm older and better able to make mature choices and manage these situations, that's when I'll do it next time. And that's
like now I'm just thinking I'm just not.
You're not. That's right. And that's correct. A good impulse. You're not ready, and you might get hurt again. And so take it easy. Take it slow. When you're older, you are more confident of what it is you're doing, the choices you're making, then do it.
Drew, I was driving here tonight thinking about the circle of life for a man.
You're listening to The Lion King or something on your way in?
No, I think I was listening to some talk radio or something. But I was thinking about the circle of life, and I was thinking, here's how it goes.
Okay.
Here's how. I'm 31 years old. I go out with women. I go with women in their late 20s, and sometimes my age, whatever. These women all have a couple of stories, not unlike the stories we hear here. Some a-hole boyfriend, lost their virginity a little too early. I'm not saying everyone was raped and everyone was abused, but everyone's got some story about some guy that screwed them over, some boyfriend that ended up screwing one of their friends, and all this and that. And I realize, at my age now, you sort of have to live with that. You mean you're living with the memory of these guys that kind of screwed them over in the past?
The consequences, really, not just the memory.
Right. Exactly. Yes. Worse than the memory. But here's the circle part. Drew, would you look at me when I'm talking?
I'm listening.
Here's the circle part. I've done my share of that crappy stuff. Now, I wasn't a cad, but I've broken a couple of hearts or screwed around on somebody or did a few things that were maybe a little out of line when I was 18, 19, 20. So somewhere, and this is the circle part again, some guy is having to pick up after my mess.
I see.
You see what I'm saying?
It's more of a karma, the scale of justice thing than a circle.
Yeah,
right?
Yes, the scale of justice.
Right. That somewhere you have to live up for the ills of your predecessors and peers.
That's right.
Yeah.
You may not have to pay your own debt, but you may pay someone else's debt. All right. What call do you want to go to, Drew? I know you told me.
I can't think. I'm just too astonished and I'm startled by that.
The circle of crap.
Yeah.
Holly.
Hi, how's it going?
Good.
I just have a couple comments from a show that I was listening to last night.
Last night. Mm-hmm.
Some guy called in about marijuana being an aphrodisiac. And you guys agreed with him?
No. I remember that call, and I felt kind of weird about it. I didn't challenge him very much on it.
No, yeah, that's true.
We went real fast past that.
You can get stoned and enjoy sex a little more sometimes.
Yeah. That's not accurate.
The reason I was calling is because I'm taking a human sexuality course at the college that I'm at.
Right.
And we had just learned about aphrodisiacs and sexual response and all that wonderful stuff.
Right.
And it just said that all it basically does is basically about the same thing that alcohol does, which is lower your inhibition, so you're more sexually promiscuous.
What is an aphrodisiac?
Holly, let me give you a little more sophisticated medical interpretation of this. That there is a subset of humans that have a very strong euphoric response to opiates.
I think I resent that, but I'm not sure. Go ahead.
Resemble that or resent that?
Just go ahead.
And it is they are always alcoholics biologically. They have parents or grandparents who are alcoholics. Non-alcoholics never have this response that I have ever seen, and not all alcoholics have this response. But people, the first time they get high on pot, it may even take a couple of exposures to pot to get their brain conditioned to the point that they get this experience. But they will have this epiphany, this euphoric experience where they just love it. They just think it's a euphoria they experience, and they preoccupy about that drug from that day forth. Mm-hmm. It's a daily preoccupation. those people, because of that sort of stimulant euphoric effect, sometimes can have some enhanced sexual responsiveness. So for people that are, and this guy that was calling the other night was a marijuana addict.
Okay.
And so for him, it seemed to be something more for him.
All right,
but eventually it will become the opposite, because that person will continue to smoke pot regularly. They'll get depressed. They'll get higher estrogen levels, lower testosterone levels, and it will work against them in the long run.
All right, could you step off the soapbox?
And that's not a soapbox.
Just step
I'm just
off
stating
for
some
a
facts.
second.
I'm just stating the facts as I understand them.
All right, Mr.
Judge.
Yes, Mr. Squaresville.
Your Honor.
You're like a 40s film on marijuana, for Christ's sake.
No, wait a minute. No, I can't even accept that, because it's just as I see it. I have no pride. If people want to smoke pot, fine, smoke pot. But this is what I see every day in my practice.
All right, here's what I'm saying. First off, what's an aphrodisiac? I mean, aphrodisiac could be Led Zeppelin cranking in your earphones while you're having sex. Am I right?
Well, Grandma had that experience the other night. Remember that?
Oh, yeah, Grandma was into the Zepp. That's true. It was a call we had last night.
Okay.
Aphrodisiac is anything that turns you on a little bit more or gets you in the mood.
Right.
Now, for some people, it's a beer. For some people, it's 2 beers. For some people, it's 9 Inch Nails. For some people, it's a hit of grass. I mean, it's whatever enhances it or whatever gets you that much closer to it. And what I'm saying about marijuana is if you get stoned every day of your life, you're going to grow breasts, you're going to lose your job, and you're not going to be able to get a boner. But if you like to have a puff off the peace pipe on a Saturday night before you get it on, and that makes the sexual experience that much better, then that's an aphrodisiac for you.
And do you
Stop
think
pointing.
Do you think I'm going to disagree with that? You pointed at me first.
I know.
I don't disagree with that. I'm just stating the facts. All right, Holly?
All right, I also have one more comment.
Real fast.
You guys were talking about the first time you guys masturbated.
What?
Yeah.
Like
What?
that,
Yeah,
right?
Drew said when he was
No,
12.
what?
So,
Yeah.
Adam, you said it was the first time you masturbated was when you were 16, something like that.
Right.
Right? Well, that same day in my class, we found out that the majority of small children, before they reach age 1, they've masturbated already.
Well, but women go through it.
I'm not talking about scratching my nuts,
Yeah,
Holly.
yeah.
I was doing that in the womb.
Holly,
Are you kidding?
Holly,
No, I'm not
Holly,
kidding.
go pick up Freud. They had a whole theory about how infants go through, or young children go through a genital phase where they preoccupy with that. I'll tell you more about that after commercials.
LoveLine. Call 1-800-LOVE-191.
LoveLine.
We'll be right back.
This is Matt.
And this is Sherry, and we're from The Rentals.
You're listening to Adam Carolla.
And Dr. Drew on
LoveLine.
Well, it didn't sound like we handed them a piece of paper with our names on it and twisted their arms to say that, did it?
They had a good time, though, didn't they?
That sounded fairly organic. Yeah, I guess they did have a good time, and we had a good time with them. Actually, it's been a fun week, and this is just going to be the kind of capper to it. No guests. Just Drew and myself tonight, and you, the LoveLine listeners and callers, having a good time. Let me give the phone number. 1-800-LOVE-191. Faxes, 310-854-4455. And lovely Celender. I think I've made a new word. Celestial Celender. Producer Ann, you had a question for the good doctor?
I've got a question for you guys. Why do men always touch themselves? Like always. You're always adjusting, or you have your hand down your pants, or...
I could tell you why. Drew's going to give you the wrong
go ahead.
answer.
Go ahead.
That is the man's number one piece of luggage. You know what I mean? That's a carry-on. Do you know what I'm saying? That's why I sleep on my stomach. Because I'm scared that I'll wake up and someone will have stolen my penis. Do you know what I mean?
Anne's shaking her like,
Yeah, Anne
I was looking at a message here.
I mean,
well, I have breasts. Women have breasts in front of them. We don't sit there and fondle our breasts.
you can live without your breasts. They have
I couldn't.
They have radical mastectomies. They have women are enlarging them. They're shrinking them. They're doing all kinds of breast things.
But they're still there.
Yeah, well, no, you can actually have them removed and still carry on.
You can
That's
have
not
you
the
can have
point,
you can
though.
have your junk removed too. Let me.
Is that a threat?
Well,
That's not a good excuse because it's there.
I'm just saying it's a kind of a huggy blanket for a guy. You know when you're a kid, there's a little blanket you dragged around all the time because it made you feel secure? Well, now I put my blanket aside, and I've now grabbed my huggy penis, and I drag that around the house.
But I've also noticed how, Adam, you are absolutely, in a euphoria about having found baby powder.
Oh, yes.
And so, the fact is...
You want to see? I've talked up tonight.
But the fact is there is some true mechanical discomfort to wearing clothing and having that all...
Oh, yeah. Drew's talking about me talking about the virtues of dumping the talc down the shorts before you leave the house and keeping everything...
It's just plain old uncomfortable, so there's a mechanical issue.
Yeah, women say that all the time. They go, how do you move around with that? They don't say it to me. They see me. They understand how I can get around just fine. But they say it to a lot of guys. They can't picture having that much rolling around the slab.
It just seems like you'd be used to it by now, since it's always been there.
No, every day is a new day with a penis.
And there is also a certain neurologic kind of circuit there. For instance, when people are coming out of comas, particularly males, the first thing they do is start fouling themselves. They just start touching themselves.
Is it almost like a calming thing?
There is a quality to that, but I think it's some kind of... I don't know. Honestly,
I'll tell you. I mean, you go a weekend without fondling your junk, you're on top of it come Monday morning. You go 5 years in a coma without touching yourself. Obviously, it's the first thing you're going for.
Not that they're masturbating. It's just some kind of a neurologic circuit that's there.
Yeah, it's not masturbating. It's just touching it.
Well, it's like you're alive. Like, when you think you're dreaming and someone says, pinch me? This is the same thing. Grab,
calls.
Yeah. And it's a form of expression. Say, like, hey, up yours, or you want some of this. You want to keep it handy in case you need to use it. That's all I'm saying. Kat?
Hi. Hi, Adam. Hi, Drew.
Hi, Kat.
Hi, I have a big problem.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm dating this guy. He's 32, and I'm 18.
Is that the problem?
Yeah, and I don't know how to tell my mom and stuff. And he's black, and I'm Asian, and
several over the years in this program, we've heard a lot of complaints from children of certain Asian culture, first generation in America, particularly Korean parents are very, very rigid and strict and concerned that their children marry other Koreans. They really will not accept anything else. Is that your situation at all? Or?
No, I'm Chinese.
Chinese. And is there a real problem there with your parents? Are they real reluctant to look?
I just don't know how to tell my mom.
Well, they'll let you go out with with like a Japanese guy your age.
Yeah.
Right, but they don't want you going out with the Nipsey Russell, right? I mean, when an old black guy comes over, I mean, obviously.
No, but he's not old. He looks young, and he's a lot of fun.
Well,
I don't. We don't have any problem with it.
No, I don't. I mean, 18. I mean, that's not.
1832 is the bigger part of the problem, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, but oftentimes women are more mature than guys.
1832. You're going to date somebody in high school?
When I was in high school?
No, now.
No.
Okay.
I didn't mean to laugh, Kat, but no,
okay.
I couldn't. No, I couldn't do that.
Or even a freshman in college. Even a college student you'd have trouble with.
Because they'd be smarter than me.
Okay, at first I lied about my age. That's why we start to go out and...
You told me you're 17?
No, I told him I was like 21 or something.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then they got to know each other, and then they really formed some sort of bond, and they liked each other. And let me ask you this at the risk of sounding insulting.
Okay.
Usually when these things happen, it's two people that were having trouble finding people. I don't mean that as a slight to you, Kat, but I'm just saying...
How can you say that? I'm not sure that's true.
Yeah, of course it's true. If Kat
about maybe not... The 18-year-old would be flattered by any older man paying attention.
All right, this guy's not getting any.
Right.
I can tell you that right now. If he's not going out with 26, 27, 29-year-old women.
He's very attractive.
And can't figure out why no one wants to date him.
Oh, a lot of people want to date him. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe not. No, he's
a model, come on.
What, hand model or foot model? What's he model? He's a model?
Yeah. He's an actor, too, so I don't know.
Well, look, we don't know the guy.
The guy is he an okay guy?
What?
Is he a good guy?
Yeah, he's very nice.
All right, you guys want to keep the relationship going?
I do. And
okay.
I think he does, too.
He does, too. Well, don't bring him over the house.
What? She has to hide it?
I'm not saying stuff him under the porch. I'm saying just don't bring him over the house.
What if they get serious?
Yeah.
Well, then you cross that bridge when you come to it.
So at this point, it's not her parents' business, basically, right?
I'm saying if it's a sort of need-to-know basis. Obviously, your parents aren't going to be happy about this.
Obviously, why?
Well, because Kat just mentioned that they're not going to be happy about this.
But is that just Kat's perception, or they might be accepting of it? Who knows? I mean, we don't know that.
Nobody in the Asian culture is going to want to see, and I'm not going to...
That is you are more racist than I thought you were.
Oh, come on. You know the Asians. Oh, come on.
Come on.
Come on, it's a compliment. I'm complimenting their culture.
By what?
Because let me tell you about the Asians. I know Asians. Here's how Asians work.
Now, when you say
it's everybody.
No,
it's not black,
no.
not white, not Mexican. I'll tell you how
40
it works.
cultures.
All right, I'm telling you how all 40 work. They're very family-oriented.
Yes.
They're protective.
Yes.
They're into... They take care of their old. When the grandma... when white people... When the grandma gets like in her 60s, we dump her off at a nursing home, shove an IV and a catheter in her, and we're out. We're gone. We're going to go golf. They take care of their own.
All right.
And there's certain rules that they have that they try to abide by.
So they're afraid of diluting their culture, right?
Right,
and those sorts of systems that they rely on and feel comfortable with.
Well, yeah,
All right.
because, for instance, the blacks aren't famous for that, and neither are the whites. Everyone's going to send me letters saying this and that, but there's differences between cultures. The white man just as bad as the black man, just as bad as anybody else. I'm just saying this. They don't want to dilute their culture. They have a tight culture. As a white guy, we don't care.
They value their culture. Okay.
That's right. They don't want to dilute it. They want to keep the tradition going. Maybe they're into Buddhism. Maybe they're into whatever religion they're in. They don't want to dilute that.
Right.
And that's why they're into it. You think my dad gives a rat's hiney who I go out with? He has no culture to dilute. He doesn't care. Just as long as I don't get AIDS and I'm straight, good, fine.
He cares if you're straight.
No, he doesn't even care about that.
Thought he was pretty open-minded.
All right, so don't bring him home.
Okay.
All right?
Unless you get serious, and then it's their time. Really, then it's the parents' problem, not hers.
I love the look on Drew's face when I begin to explain the Asian culture.
Well, when you start sounding like Jesse Helms, I get a little bit disturbed.
Now, listen. It's getting to the point where you can't point out any differences in any cultures without being a bigot.
Well,
I'm telling you, there's differences in cultures.
All right.
And I'm not pointing out bad ones in the Asian cultures.
All
it's a
right.
good one. That's why they're kicking our ass up and down the planet and everything. All right. Let's go back to the phones. Mike.
Hi, how you guys doing?
Good.
We're all right.
I've been dating this woman for the last couple of months, and I've really been getting close to her. And the problem is that she happens to be dating one of my friends.
She an Asian broad?
No.
Stop.
Anyways, it ends that she's sleeping with me and my friend both.
Very nice.
That's healthy. Asians would never do that. You see, they wouldn't tolerate that in their culture. Go ahead, Mike.
And she's not really, nonchalant about it. Like, we all hang out at the same places. We all have the same circle of friends.
She is not nonchalant about it.
Huh?
She is nonchalant, or
She's
she?
not. She's very in the open about it. You know what I mean?
So the other guy knows about it too?
Oh yeah.
She's casual about the whole thing.
Casual. See, we hang out at the same places. So we have the same circle of friends. And
Do both of you guys really like her?
I don't know how he feels about it because we haven't been able to talk to each other for the last couple of weeks.
Because of this.
Funny
of this. Yeah. And how do you feel about her?
Well, I really like her a lot. I mean, I have a lot of fun when I'm with her. It just bothers me that she's going out with one of my friends and sleeping with him.
Yeah, that's a bad trait.
But if I remember, if I got the story right, she was dating him first.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If you give a that's like saying, did you break up with her? Did she break up with you? And you go, it was mutual. That means you were dumped. And the when who was she dating first means it's him.
Him first for a while. And
okay, so you're the home wrecker. You just happen to be calling us.
Because he's always she's always saying she doesn't want a relationship with him.
All right,
she doesn't want a relationship with anyone.
Everyone's always saying something, but listen to what I say for a minute. This girl is flawed to a degree that she is having sex with both of you who are friends at the same time and having some sort of quasi-relationship with both of you at the same time. This is a bad trait. Now, it's your fault, It's this guy's fault. It's her fault. It's that Asian caller's fault we had a few minutes ago. It's everyone's fault. But I'm saying is you don't want to necessarily get hooked up with someone who's capable of this.
And who's not going to return your intimate feelings. You're developing all these strong feelings for her. They aren't coming back at you.
Right. Now, I'm not saying she should be crucified for dating two guys at the same time, but I'm just saying obviously she's not all that serious about you, Mike. It's time to move on.
LoveLine will be right back!
The people at LoveLine are back. I'm one of them, Adam Carolla. Another one is Dr. Drew, the board-certified physician. The phone number, 1-800-LOVE-191, 1-800-568-3191. The fax number, 310-854-4455. And Mark, you're on LoveLine.
Yeah?
Yeah?
I have a question for Dr. Drool.
Drool?
Drool? Is that your name?
Are you goofing on...
No, Dr. Drew? Drool?
Straighten up. Dr. Drew.
Okay. Ever since I was born, I've only had one testicle. Like, one of them hasn't dropped down, I think.
Did you have it taken out, the other one?
No. It hasn't, like...
Mark.
What?
A non-descended testicle needs to be removed, okay?
It does?
You're not 19, are you?
I'm 19.
Are you actually 19?
What year were you born?
1977.
Sounds good to me.
I was like... I don't know. I'm too embarrassed to tell anyone about it.
You've got to talk to your parents. Believe it or not, a non-descended testicle can become cancerous. It needs to be removed.
Anything that, like, sits in one place long enough gets cancer on it.
Well...
No, I mean, that's the way the body is. It's a cruel thing, isn't it?
Well, I don't know that I can generalize quite that specifically, but it is a cruel thing, Adam. Yes, I'll back you up on that.
Don't be condescending, doctor. I wasn't born yesterday.
But the fact is, you've got to talk to a doctor about that. It's got to be taken care of. It is nothing to be ashamed of.
But I'm, like, embarrassed to tell anyone about it.
Mark, then go to a doctor or somebody who you can talk to. It's a common problem, very common. Sometimes they can pull the testy down, frankly.
A good shot in the gut will get it unlodged, won't it?
Is there, like, a home remedy I could do? Like
No, Mark, no way. Mark, look, I'm insisting that you see a doctor. You talk to a professional about this. It needs to be taken care of surgically. They can always put a prosthesis in, a plastic or glass thing in there if you're really concerned about how it
Right. What's Sammy Davis Jr. doing with his glass eye? Perhaps we can talk to the estate and see if we can wrestle that away from them. Yeah, people get embarrassed, and it's sad. It's sad that someone with a legitimate medical problem
won't go
because the legitimate medical problem is in his underwear.
Right.
And all of a sudden it becomes a joke now. This is a very cruel society we're living in.
Thank you.
I'm thinking the Asian cultures don't work this way. In Asia, you got a problem with your nuts, boom, you're right to the doctor. You're proud.
This is LoveLine on
Radio Station.
Nice for talking about this stuff too, right? Even we barely are able to do it.
I know, no kidding. No, the doc. I was just saying to the doctor in the 10-second little break there. I said, it's really sad that people have legitimate problems,
right?
But they're of a personal nature,
right.
or actually society has deemed them to be
right.
of a personal nature because they have to do with your reproductive system,
right.
because they have to do with your genitalia.
Yeah, or your emotions.
Or your emotions. And for that reason, you're not going to get it serviced. You're not going to get it taken care of, and you get cancer and you can die.
Right.
And Drew looked at me and he said, that's why we're doing the show.
Right.
And I looked at him and I said, no, it's for the money.
No.
And then he nodded his head and said, what am I thinking?
But what I did say, though, is that even this show periodically gets scrutinized. What are you guys doing? Why are you talking about this stuff? Well, because people don't have anywhere else to bring this material.
People go, what were you doing talking about nuts?
Right.
And it's like the guy was on the brink of cancer. That's
right.
what we were doing, talking about nuts, you Bible-smacking Republican bloated communist, you.
All right, you're part of the NRA, aren't you?
I hate the damn NRA hole. Zach.
Yeah.
Yes, you're on LoveLine.
How you doing? First, I want to say to Adam, you're like the greatest thing. You're just hilarious, man. I just crack up at you every night, man.
Thank you, Zach.
Areas and stuff.
Like Zach sounds stoned off his ass. Zach Spicoli.
Yeah, I'm calling. I have a question for Dr. Drew. Right? It's like I used to be like really into drugs and selling drugs.
Used to be?
Yeah.
You're still smoking pot,
It
though.
means earlier this afternoon, I think.
Yeah. You're still smoking pot, right?
No, not really. Tonight was the first time in a
No,
while.
he put the bong down to get to the phone. He's not smoking pot right now.
But I mean, I was into heavy stuff like cocaine and heroin and stuff. And now I switch girls in his place, and I'm like really, really sexually active. I mean, like many different girls. Every week it's a different girl.
Zach, the thing about addiction is that anything that stimulates your reward center can be part of the addictive process. You will condition your reward center to anticipate certain levels of stimulation with cocaine and heroin, and the heroin will negative condition it such that being without the heroin will feel terrible, and you'll try to fill it with something else. And right now you're trying to fill that with women. And you're also...
Actually, he's trying to fill women with his penis, but go on.
Well, and be that as it may, you haven't replaced anything. You're just kind of switching around. You're crossing over to different substances. Now it's pot, then it's going to be alcohol. It'll get you back to heroin and cocaine eventually. You can't be activating that part of the brain and expect to stop your addictive process.
So
it will go on absolutely categorically so long as there are chemicals or behaviors that stimulate that part of the brain.
Yeah, and I just belched up a big ball of curry. I don't know if you picked up any of that, Drew. Drew, did you pick up that curry?
Well, I appreciate you blowing it over this way. That was kind of nice touch.
Zach, I wish you could be in here. Zach, you'd probably try to eat me. You're so baked. Hey, that guy smells like food. Zach, listen. Here's what Drew's saying.
I wasn't clear enough?
No, that was clear if you're a Martian. I'm going to tell you what Drew's saying. No, you're very good. But Zach's things are a little fuzzy for Zach at this time of the evening. Zach.
It's like
Zach, you're substituting. It's like when you go to one of those AA meetings and they have a 10-minute break and everyone flies out the door and lights up a whole pack of cigarettes and shoves it in their mouth.
It's a little different for that, though, because that doesn't actually go to the same part of the brain. That's the same behavior, is looking for something to stimulate that part of the brain, but it turns out that sex and thrill and pot and alcohol and cocaine and speed and heroin all go to the same place.
And working out. I mean, people get addicted to things that are good. I don't trust any of these women you see on these infomercial commercials that are all stridated and tan and shaved. I'm starting to get a boner, actually. But I mean, these women that are just nuts.
Adam,
you know what I mean?
Make Zach laugh a few more times later, please.
Hey, Zach.
Yeah.
Give me some sugar with that laugh. Zach.
Yeah.
Zach, what Drew's saying is you can't substitute one for another.
You got to get treatment, Zach. It's not going to get better.
You have to get to the part of you that wants to
I've been in rehab for the past 9 months. I just got out.
Well, guess what? You got to get back into a structured environment. You didn't get it.
But Zach, it's great that you're not doing the crank, and it's great that you're not doing the smack and all that. But you're still substituting.
You don't get it.
And you're still
Zach.
hurting people and hurting yourself.
You don't get it.
But let's not bash the guy too much.
Hey,
you
look,
put the drugs away.
It is very difficult for a teenager to get recovery. It's very difficult. I understand that. It's an abstraction.
Especially when your whole environment's littered with drugs.
When there's drugs around you and when your life's been messed up and it's the only thing you've known that helps make you get away from that and feel okay. But I'm telling you, it's a life-threatening illness, and you're on a slippery slope here, Zach. And I'm sorry. We're kidding around a lot, but it's serious business.
Yeah. Okay, so, Zach, we congratulate you for getting off this stuff.
I congratulate you for spending 9 months sober in a recovery home. That's great, but it's time to get back.
But it was nice the first night I got high in a while, and I went to an NA meeting. I just got back a while ago.
Well,
you went to NA, you came back and had a bong load?
Yeah, call your
No, I did it before I went to that.
Zach, call your sponsor, all right? Call your sponsor, okay?
All right.
And I...
All right.
Oops.
Well, he went on long enough. I could see Zach at the NA meeting, stoned off his ass. They're presenting a 5-year cake to someone, and Zach charges the stage. Ray.
Yeah.
You're on LoveLine.
Oh, hi guys.
Hey.
I got a question for Drew here.
Yeah, Ray.
Drew, I've been like having. Hold on, let me get this pen out of my mouth. I've been having like sex with my girlfriend a lot,
Yeah.
and I'm not circumcised, and like you know the way the foreskin is connected to like the head and stuff and all that.
Yeah.
With that little thing, like that piece is like getting sore. It's like kind of turned like a reddish kind of color.
Right.
Sore.
Right.
What's that?
That's a sore.
That's it.
You just have over traumatized the area.
Oh, that's.
Yeah, you got to keep that area real clean.
It ain't gonna fall off or anything.
No, you get infected though. Why don't you put a condom on when you're having sex for a little while?
Oh well.
Protected, okay?
I ran out.
Ran out of condoms.
Yeah.
Well, just as long as he's got a solid excuse for having unprotected sex, I guess that's okay.
No.
He did run out.
Nah.
When did you run out? 3 months ago?
No, just Tuesday.
Right. Next time you run out to the 7-Eleven and get yourself some more. I like when I sound like a dad.
So like nothing's wrong though, right? It'll heal up and I'll be better.
If it continues to break down or get worse, have a doctor look at it. I mean, that can be. You can
No,
have
I'm gonna hold back for a while. I already told my girlfriend.
Right.
Hey, like give me a week or so.
But Ray.
Yeah.
Safe sex, all right, pal. Condom.
Okay.
You should be using that anyway.
Ray, when you told your girlfriend, give me a week or so, did she go, take 2?
No, she didn't.
That's always a bad sign, by the way, when you go in like your boss's office and you go, I think I'm going to take like a leave of absence for about a month. And they're going, you sure don't want to make it 6 months? You should take an extra year. Take your time. Come back when you're ready. Drew, you pick the call. All right, not if you're going to make a career out of it. Okay. All right, 6. Mike.
Yes.
You're on LoveLine.
Hi.
Hey.
My question is a couple years ago, probably 91, 92, I had an orchidectomy.
It's a testicle orchiectomy.
That's where you have a killer whale removed from your spleen?
That would be an orcaectomy.
It was, practically.
This is an orchiectomy. He has his testicle. You have cancer?
Free testy.
No. It was benign. I had a blastocele that really ballooned and finally got it taken out. My girlfriend freaked out on him. But
wait a minute. What's a blastocele?
We've
worked seals and we've worked a few forms of marine life into this call. Go ahead. I'm going to work otter in the next 20 minutes.
What my urologist said was that the water, the fluids that came in and out, got blocked.
Like the tide, okay.
Yeah.
He didn't call it a hydrocele?
Yeah, and then it inflated.
They didn't call it a hydrocele?
That's what he said.
He called it a blastocele.
Blastocele? Drew's got a puzzled look.
No, blastocele. I'm a biology major. It wasn't a blastocele.
It was a hydrocele.
Yeah,
he just pulled some part off of a flower or something that he heard about today.
No, he's talking about the blastocele was the part of after the morula, you get a blastula. Okay, all right.
All right, no one knows what the hell you're talking about. So what's your question, Mike?
Anyway, I was talking to my dad the other day, and he was freaking out. He was wondering about my fertility.
No problem.
Because they took out the whole testicle.
No problem.
And I was wondering about.
Not a problem. Your other testicle will compensate.
Mike, did they? Mike.
That's what I figured.
Mike.
Yes.
Mike, did they put a dummy nut in there?
No.
They do that sometimes.
Yeah, well.
I know. Hey, I know a guy. Mike, I know. I just belched up another big curry ball.
You're actually proud of that when that happens, aren't you?
You know,
you can't hold back.
If I can't fart, then a good stinky belch is like the next best thing. I know a guy got his. Oh, wow, that sounded good. I know a guy who got his finger amputated, cut off or whatever, and the doc offered to cut it back a little more and clean it up. Sometime.
Yeah, that's common. I mean, because the bone sticks out if you don't.
It was clean and everything, but they just said they could pull it, bring it back to the knuckle, or bring it back to the whatever. Sort of take off another inch for cosmetic reasons.
Right.
That's weird. I find that weird.
How does it look now? The finger.
It
looked like Jerry Garcia or something did, or does, or was, or something like that. But yeah, it looked fine. I mean, the point is don't take any more of my finger. But why did you ask for the dummy nut?
No.
For the decoy?
No, I would have been curious to see it, but there was really no recognizable testicle left. It was
Yeah, but they can
I know,
put it-
but
they
why
can-
didn't they offer that up? Weren't they negligent, Drew?
I don't know if that's negligent, but they can put
What do you mean?
They
Of
gotta
course that's
dispose-
negligent.
They can put a prosthesis in there, so.
No, there's no cosmetic.
He doesn't want it.
I don't care.
Yeah, good man, Mike. Let me tell you, the nuts are the ugliest thing in the world.
The least you have to look at them, the better.
Right. But girls somehow are fascinated with them. All right, so did we answer your question?
Yes, you did.
We did?
All right, yep.
Wow. I had no idea. Brianne.
Yeah, hello?
Hey, you're on LoveLine with Dr. Drew and Adam Carolla.
Hi, I have a big problem.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really in love with my boyfriend, and him and I really love each other.
Mm-hmm.
But he is so insecure. He doesn't trust me at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I'm with a guy or something like that that's just my friend, he freaks out, and he just doesn't understand that he's just my friend, and he thinks that I'm happier with the other guy than with him.
Uh-huh.
But I don't know what to do.
Well, you kind of, you got it pretty good. You said insecure. Most of the time, people just call him and go, he's really jealous.
Right,
or he's really
angry,
protective.
Controlling.
He's really controlling. But he's really insecure.
Yeah. I don't know what to do because I can't prove to him any. I mean, he really loves me a lot. I know that he loves me more than I love him.
Well, there's definitely things you can do that are going to set him off. I mean, if you're rubbing on the guy, or your posture is such, or you're flirting with the guy, then obviously that's going to set the guy off. But if he's going to be insecure and there's nothing that you're doing to cause it, then that's his problem, and I don't know what you can do about it.
There's nothing I can do.
Well, he has to do something.
He's so afraid he's going to lose you, he's going to push you
We're
away.
always getting in fights over it.
Yeah, he's gonna
I just
push
think
you
our
away.
relationship would be so much better without it.
It might blow the relationship.
But, I mean, that may just be the dynamic of the relationship. That may be what he's drawn to.
No. Mm-mm.
Now you're right.
No.
I have no...
No, it's that he can't accept the intimacy without fearing losing it, and he gets so wrapped up in the fear of loss that he's actually end up pushing her away, so he doesn't have to experience the intimacy anymore.
Do you think he'll ever change?
As he gets older, he'll probably change.
Right. No,
Well, he's older than me.
how old is he?
He's 18.
People, males tend to get better that way. They tend to get more confident in relationships and able to handle them, and women too, to some extent.
Yeah, they do get better as time goes on. I mean, by the time this guy's 40, there shouldn't be any problem at all. By the time that whole prostate problem kicks in, there should be no trouble at all. But no, seriously, it becomes like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Correct.
I'll give a real short and interesting story. I do the morning show here at the local station, K-Rock.
Mm-hmm.
And when the guys found out, the morning show guys found out, Kevin and Bean found out I was going to do the nighttime show, they said, oh, you're going to come in, you're going to be tired, you're going to be on 3 hours sleep, you're going to drop us in a week, and you're going to just say, screw us. And I said, no, I'm committed to the show. I'm going to come in. And I came in like, I went to bed at 2, and I got up at 5, and I came in.
Right.
And for the first couple of times I came in, they were like, he seemed real tired, and he's just going to leave. And I eventually said to them, you keep talking like that, and
You're going to push him.
I am going to leave.
Right, you're going to be
You're
so sick
right.
of hearing this.
Your fear is going to get what your fear requested, which is you're going to push me away.
Right.
And so it's this sort of self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yep.
Should I tell him that then, or do you think that'll scare him even more?
I would tell him that it's putting the relationship in jeopardy, so he understands how important it is to lay off, and constantly reassure him and constantly support the positives in the relationship and how much you're connected with that, and hopefully you can tolerate the rest.
Yeah, and don't do it in a combative way. I mean, there's nothing a guy...
no hostile.
Guys are so damn immature, especially at that age. You come after them and it sounds like an argument, they're out of there. Rachel.
Yes, hello. Hi, Adam. Hi, Drew.
Hi, you're on LoveLine.
Rachel.
Hi. I'm 18, and I'm married. And I think I'm falling for another guy besides my husband.
How old is your child?
Excuse me?
How old is your child?
She's 10 months.
10 months?
10 months?
Yes.
And who is this other guy?
He's a guy I met at school.
Just recently?
Yeah, last semester.
How long have you been married?
Started. A little over a year.
How old is your husband?
He's 22.
And what's going on in that relationship?
Well, I don't know. We're both young, and I don't know. We get into a lot of fights because we can't really handle this. I don't know how well we're handling this.
The child or the marriage or what?
All of it.
You're kind of overwhelmed by the
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah. How bad are the fights?
Some of them gotten pretty bad.
Like what happens?
I don't know. There's been times when we've yelled and screamed, thrown things. I don't know. It almost got physical one night.
Does it make sense to you that you might be trying to seek refuge from that kind of a unpleasant situation? I mean, does it make sense?
Yeah. I mean, I love him and everything, but it's just...
But I understand. But doesn't it make sense that you'd want to just hide out and get away and, try to give yourself some relief of some type, and boom, you take a hostage. Find some way to hide out.
Well, Rachel, how long you been with this guy?
We've been together. It'll be 2 years in July. We've been together.
Were you married because of the pregnancy?
We were engaged before we found out, but we were planning not to get married for a while. And then we found out I was pregnant, so we just decided, well, we'll get married now.
I'll tell you my personal opinion of part of the problem that I think that young marriages have is the curiosity thing, which is I'm old enough to know that everyone's about the same and it don't get any better. But you're not. And you marry the first guy that comes down the pike, and you can't help but wondering what this guy sitting next to you in your social studies class would be like, what that guy would be like, and he can't help but wonder what she would be like, and you think you've missed out. Then you go around and you sample everyone, and you realize, they're all about the same. And you could have stayed with the first person. But there's a curiosity factor.
So you think that's what she's falling victim to?
I don't think this guy's the right guy for her. I think if she didn't get pregnant and bring it to term, I think they probably wouldn't have gotten married.
Well,
and I think there's a lot of strife in the home place, and she's looking for an escape. Like you said, because home means arguments and a crying kid.
And the kids evoke intense emotion in you. If you feel overwhelmed by that, and your husband's threatening to beat you, what a horrible situation to be in.
Well, he's not exactly threatening to beat me.
Well, but it almost came to physical violence. You've said that.
Well, she could have been kicking his ass. We don't know that.
Whatever. It's unpleasant.
All right, but Rachel, you owe it to your kid. And, you're 18, but you did get married, and you did have a kid. Therefore, you're an adult.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And I believe strongly in commitments, and I think you need to find a way to live up to this commitment. Don't go with the impulse that you're feeling for this other guy. I would suggest that you try to get back in touch with what it was in your husband that you had before all the stressors hit. That obviously you guys loved each other intensely, and that there is some basis for this relationship, and you got to find that again. What you need to do in the meantime is find ways to relieve the stress. Both of you are young and don't know how to manage and cope with the intense stress you're under. Rely on family, if they're social workers, social services, whatever is available to you, take advantage of that. And try to relieve the stress wherever you can and focus on this relationship and try to heal what's happening here. And see if perhaps you don't just suddenly get more involved in your husband and less involved in your friend at school.
LoveLine. Call LoveLine. 1-800-LOVE-191. That's 1-800-LOVE-191.
LoveLine will be right back.
Hello, this is Roland Orzabal from Tears for Fears, and you're listening to LoveLine.
Hello, this is Roland Orzabal. This is Adam Carolla. The phone number, 1-800-LOVE-191. 1-800-568-3191. Fax number, 310-854-4455. That is Dr. Drew pointing at the screen like a monkey. Amanda.
Yes.
You're on LoveLine.
Hi.
Hey.
I called in about a problem that I have.
That's good.
Okay. This all started like a year ago. And I was kind of not even seeing this guy. It was like I just, met him at a party and I kind of knew him. And, one thing led to another that night. And I was like really drunk. So, we were like having sex. And then some other girl comes in this room and she just was like, okay, well, let's get it on or whatever. And, she, like, starts joining in, and I kind of, like, freaked out on that. And I was like, well, whatever. And after that experience, I never really talked to this guy again. And I knew him, but I never really.
Wait, Amanda, did she join in or not?
Yeah, but I kind of, like, I totally freaked out on it. And I was like, okay, well, whatever, and I kind of, like, after that, it's like that's where it ended for me.
Did you freak out, get up, buckle your bra, and leave the party? Or did you freak out and grab a boob?
No, I did not do that. No, not at all.
So, now that it wasn't a threesome?
Huh?
It was not a threesome?
No.
Okay.
But she was there, and, okay, that kind of just really freaked me out. So I didn't really talk to this guy for a long time, right? And then, so now like 3 months ago, I moved in with a new roommate, and she's like my best friend. And she started going out with this guy, and he talked to me, and he asked me not to say anything, and how that he never that like that's the first time he ever did anything like that, and all this stuff. And I was like, okay, well, I won't say anything because I didn't want to like hurt her feelings or jeopardize our relationship or whatever, right? I just wanted to see how things went. Well, the other night, he's over here at our house, and he goes in her room with my roommate, and I guess he waits for her to fall asleep, and he comes out, and then he comes into my room, and he's, like, all trying to kiss me and everything and get on me, and I'm, like, totally freaking out, and I haven't told her, and I don't know if I should tell her. I don't know what I should do.
Well, of course you should tell her if she has any feelings for this guy.
Yeah.
This guy's a jackhole.
Yeah,
this guy's
like
an asshole. Can I say that?
And he's like, he freaks me out totally. And he's like, well, don't say anything. After I'm like, no way, man, this is not going to happen. And he's just like, oh, well, don't say anything to Becky and blah, blah, blah.
Tell her the whole story.
I don't know how, though. I don't know how to say it.
What do you mean you don't know how to say it? Why?
She's going to freak out.
All right, I'll tell you how you're... ha. Take a deep breath, Amanda. You eating that curry too? I'm about to barf up another curry ball for Drew, by the way. Amanda, you are not going to have to tell her. I'm going to tell her.
Okay.
You understand?
Uh-huh.
Where is she?
She's in the other room.
Boy, you're yelling pretty loud for someone who's in the next room who you don't know how to tell.
She's like way on the other end of the house. There's no way she could hear me.
That's pretty swinging pads you guys have. How old are you?
I'm 18.
Jeez, when I was 18, I lived in a one-bedroom with 3 guys, for Christ's sake.
Is this a sorority house or something?
All right. Amanda.
Huh.
What's her name?
Her name's Becky.
What's his name?
His name's Jack.
All right. Put her on.
You were right. He's a jackhole.
He's a jackhole. I'm going to straighten this whole mess out.
Okay, hang on. I got to see if she's awake.
All right.
This might take a minute. Hang on.
All right. This woman lives in a palace.
But it might be a sorority house or something.
You think it's a sorority house?
I don't know.
It doesn't smell like a sorority. I can usually sniff out the...
How can you tell over the curry?
Soiled panties. Mike, the retarded engineer, is having a field day. Look at him. He's...
Here we go.
Just don't be mad at me, okay? Just here. Hang on. Here she is.
Yeah, okay.
Hello?
Becky.
Yes?
This is Adam Carolla, a.k.a. the voice of reason.
Oh.
This is from the hit radio show LoveLine. The other voice that you don't hear right now is Dr. Drew, a.k.a. Dr. Drew.
Hi, Becky.
Okay, hi.
How you doing?
Good.
Now, Amanda told us we should talk to you because she had something she wanted to tell you, because she cares about you, because she's a friend of yours, and she didn't know how you would react. So I told her we would shoulder the burden.
There's no way she can get another line, is there?
Is there another line that Amanda could get on?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Just one line.
All right. Best you should have it. You know our friend Good Time Jack?
Yeah.
The guy you've been dating?
Uh-huh.
What do you think of Jack?
He's great so far.
Seems like a pretty decent guy?
Yeah.
He's opening the doors.
Oh, yeah.
You first.
Treats me good.
Perfect gentleman.
Yeah.
Chivalry is not dead. Or is it?
Chivalry?
We have the inside dope on Jack.
Inside dope. Oh, no.
We have the news on Jack. Let me tell you about this Jack. This Jack is jacking you around. Your friend Amanda told us about a story of being at a party with Jack, having a few drinks, and having a little escapade with Jack in one of the bedrooms. You know, one of those things where the coats are.
Before they were dating.
This is way before you were dating Jack. Okay. All right. Nothing. No. No sex. Well, maybe a little.
Maybe a little.
I don't know if there was actual penetration or not, but there was a little hanky-panky. Wait, please. Becky, hear me out, because you're going to thank me, you're going to thank Drew, and you're going to thank Amanda when we're done. On the bed with the coats on it, kind of thing, and somebody else stumbled in, and Jack tried.
Somebody else?
Jack tried to form a threesome. Now Amanda would have nothing to. Wait, hear me out. Amanda would have nothing to do with this, so she left and never saw the guy again, and never went out with the guy again, and didn't say anything when you started going out with him because he'd asked her not to say anything. Okay? But the other night, when he was over at your place, after you'd fallen asleep, probably dreaming of this Jack, he wandered in to Amanda's room and tried to put the moves on her.
Oh, my God.
Do you see how guys are?
Oh, my God.
Do you understand the essence of man now?
Oh.
You're seeing the truth, aren't you? Now, Amanda, God bless her, didn't want to hurt you. But she didn't want to hurt you worse by letting you go on living this lie with Jack. Because Lord knows.
God.
Because you haven't been going out with him long enough for him to really sink his claws into you yet, have you?
Mm-mm.
No.
No.
Right now, it'd just be a flesh wound, wouldn't it?
Deep flesh wound.
It's not like he has one of his talons gripped around your heart, though, at this point. It's not like when he pulls it out, your heart's coming with it. There's just going to be a little bleeding, a little Bactine, a little dabbing with a cotton swab, and you'll be back. You'll be back on your feet in no time. This guy Jack is a bastard.
Hell yeah, he's a bastard.
Now, do you understand the situation?
Oh, my God.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Sorry to get you up for bad news.
Oh, my. He's supposed to come over.
Oof.
What time?
Pretty soon.
Pretty soon, huh?
I hope they're not near Culver City.
What city are you in?
What city? Fresno.
Jack's coming in. All I'm saying is if you're going to let Jack sleep over, you better sleep with one eye open.
No, I don't think so.
All right.
The Audi.
Now, you're not mad at Amanda, are you?
No.
She's just looking out for you. You understand?
Yeah, I know.
Let's talk to Amanda to make sure this is all closed.
I know.
All right, so you're cool with this.
Let us talk to Amanda real quick back there, right?
All right.
Sorry about all this. Yeah.
Just, that hurts.
Yeah.
Oh.
Don't look at me that way. Hello.
All right. Amanda.
Yes.
I smoothed it over.
What'd you tell her?
The whole story.
I told her you're a lesbian.
What?
No, I told her the whole story, and she's fine with it.
She's not fine with it.
Well, no, she's fine with your end of it.
Growled at me.
Well, she growled like an animal does when you're walking around its food. That's all. I have no idea what
Hit
that
the
meant.
fan when he gets there.
Yeah, I think so.
Listen,
And
but
it should, I suspect.
Yes.
Although he's going to deny it, and be on your guard, Amanda. I bet you.
I'm just gonna take off.
Well, he's going to try to
No.
make he's going to try to make it your fault.
yeah, you're going to have to
You
be
have to hang in there,
you're going to have to
yeah.
be the witness because if you go, by the time you get back, he will have sweet talked Becky into believing that you're a psychotic, spiteful bitch.
Right, it was all your fault.
Oh.
Okay.
All right.
Great.
Just take a shot of courage.
Stay with honesty.
Wait by the door with a net, and when he comes through it, you both jump on him and beat him like a frickin' seal.
Seal?
Well, people beat seals, you know.
That's a horrible image.
And let me just make this call. I didn't lead into that well. Let me try that again. Let me use this call as an example. A lot of people are reluctant. A lot of people have reservations about letting us talk to the roommate, letting us talk to the dad, the lover, the girlfriend, because they think we're going to turn it into a joke,
Right.
because they think we're not going to handle it correctly, because they think the situation is going to be worse after we're done with it. And they're probably right. But all I'm saying is in this case, it worked out just fine, or at least as fine as it could be. James.
Yes.
You're on LoveLine.
Okay. I got a stupid question for you.
Fantastic.
Let's say that you turned into a woman for some reason.
All right, hold on. All right, I just sprouted a hymen. Go ahead.
Okay. And would you become a lesbian?
See, you're trying to corner me here because either I'm going to be a lesbian or I'm going to say I love schlong.
Yeah.
Wow. I got to believe that I would just join like the LPGA and call it a life.
Hello. Call LoveLine. 1-800-LOVE-191. LoveLine will be right back.
LoveLine, phone number 1-800-LOVE-191. I am Adam Carolla. We have here every night, doing a fine job tonight, on top of your game tonight.
Me?
Yeah, you're like Jordan, doing like
Thank you.
48 points tonight. We have, that is Dr. Drew, by the way. We have faxes coming our way at 310-854-4455. Faxes like...
Here's an easy one. Is pot smoking worse than sniffing paint? I'd have to say actually not. The inhaled hydrocarbons like whiteout and gasoline and paint are extraordinarily damaging to the frontal part of the brain, the part of the brain where your conscious mind, your intellectual mind exists.
What if you turn your back while you're doing it?
Still goes to the front.
Wow.
Here's another one. Last year, my dad contracted hepatitis. The doctors didn't know what kind it was. They said hepatitis is a common generic name for diseases with similar symptoms. He wants to know how his dad got it and whether it can come back. You really need to know what kind of hepatitis and even whether or not it is a viral hepatitis. Hepatitis literally just means inflammation of the liver. Viral hepatitis, there are at least three major types, A, B, and C. B and C are sexually transmitted. They're transmitted through blood products and maybe through other kinds of intimate
Blood
contact.
products like sausage?
No.
Okay, because
Like
they have
what?
blood. Oh, okay. All right. Hey, Drew, it seems like I wasn't hearing so much about hepatitis 5 years ago.
I'm glad you said
Don't
that.
go nuts. I just brought it up.
Well, the reason I'm glad you said that because when the AIDS thing was preoccupying everybody, I kept saying, hepatitis C, you were going to hear a lot about. Hepatitis B, there's a vaccine for it. It's important that people learn about this. Hepatitis C, 60% of the time causes chronic liver disease. Half of those people will get cirrhosis. Maybe 10 or 20% of those will get liver cancer. It's a devastating disease. It's transmitted just like AIDS, and it's going to be more common, I suspect, someday.
I said the same thing about arena football, but it still hasn't happened. Amy.
Hi.
You're on LoveLine.
I need advice big time.
We're the guys.
All right, I hope so. Okay, my husband, we've been together for almost 4 years, and we've been married for a little over a year. And when we first started going out, sex was great. It was awesome.
Sure. You want to know why?
Because we're just met.
Well, here's the way guys work. Guys have to do a better job sexually than the last guy you were having sex with at the beginning. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They have to knock the old guy's sex out of you and insert their sex.
Okay, well, he did a good job at that because this is the one guy I've never enjoyed sex until I met this guy before. Before I met him, I didn't even enjoy it.
Right.
Well, now there is none.
Now you don't have sex.
No, I have to more or less beg. And I've tried everything. I've even gotten the 203 ways to drive a man wild in bed and everything. And
This is your boyfriend?
my husband.
Let me tell you about all these books, these videos, these, surprise your man. Bake him something and answer the door when he comes home from work in a teddy and put some slippers on him. When a guy isn't into it, he ain't into it. And you could answer the door covered with pig's blood, and if he was into it, he'd be on top of you in the living room. And conversely, all the lingerie, this is a big BS societal thing. They're just trying to move product. It is.
Probably true.
The whole Fredericks of Hollywood, the whole, what the hell's that catalog I whack off to all the time? Victoria's Secret. Mike's now pulled out his penis. Very good, Mike. Put it back. Worry about the board. This all based on women thinking they can change a guy's ideas by doing
some guys
this
are into that stuff, though.
Yeah, but look, look, if a guy's turned on by a woman in lingerie, he can't rip it off her fast enough, and then he balls it up and throws it under the bed, or he like wipes himself with it real fast and then tosses it in the hamper. Guys give a rat's ass about lingerie. Here's a you know what guys think of lingerie? You look good in lingerie, you're gonna look better naked. And you're going to look even better when I'm on top of you. That's what lingerie is. This is a whole big scam, just like all this weight loss crap. If it ain't happened,
weight loss crap. What?
Yes, all this. Oh, you can look like this model. You can buy Cindy Crawford's workout video. That's just a big masturbation fest. That's all that is. If you're fat, you're going to be fat. You're not going to look like Cindy Crawford. Cindy Crawford looks like Cindy Crawford not because she works out, not because she eats alfalfa juice, because her parents made her.
Right.
That's why she looks like that. No other way.
Good genes.
All right, good genes. All right, Amy.
Yeah.
The hell were we talking about?
Her husband.
Not having sex with me.
All right, there's something going on here. It's an emotional thing. Yes.
You think?
Yeah. It's not about. It's unless have you put on 30, 40 pounds?
No, I'm 5'6.5" and 115 pounds. I have not an ounce of fat on me.
All right, I don't mean to say that a man cannot love a woman who's put on a few pounds, but I'm just saying, is there anything physical that's changed? I'm looking for change.
Well, my breasts dropped after I had our 2 kids, but he doesn't seem to have a problem with that. I do, but he doesn't.
He says he doesn't have a
Well,
problem with
exactly.
that. That could be it. And just the whole having the kids thing. He looked at you. You went.
You're not going to go back to that again, are you?
Well, I can't even remember. What was it?
Yeah, I don't want to even.
No. I'm not going to go the Chuck E. Cheese analogy. Wait a minute,
Are you
Ann.
saying it's okay that he's not attracted to her because her breasts sagged after she had babies?
No, that's not what he's going to say.
No.
Fortunately, he's not going that bad.
Okay.
No, I'm saying.
I'll kick your ass.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think we let him get away with that. So.
No, I wasn't going to go that direction, producer Ann, with the perky breasts. I was going to large and perky, which is a very rare and sought after combination. This guy, and I think maybe a lot of guys do this. I don't know if this would happen to me, but I imagine there would be elements in it. Is you go from looking at your wife as a sort of sexual being, as a sort of into this sort of reproducing being, this biological,
or a mom
being, or a mom. And God knows there's nothing a guy's less turned off by than the mom presence. Maybe that has to do with it. Did it drop around the kids? I mean, the sex?
Well, it was my drive picked up when I was pregnant with our first one.
Lord's
and
cruel
his
joke,
kind of
yes.
slowed down, and then after I had her, it picked up again, and then when I got pregnant with the second one, it slowed down, and now it's just dead.
And how's
wait, your drive slowed down after the second?
No, his.
His did.
Yeah, what's going on with him and the rest of his life? I mean, how's work going?
Well, he just started. See, this doesn't help either. He just started a new job last a week. It's almost 2 weeks now where he works.
Is it difficult to schedule it in with your children being?
Yeah, he works third shift, and my dad does too. And so I asked my mom, well, when are we supposed to have sex? She says, like me, on the weekends. Well, last weekend was our first weekend, and I didn't even get it then.
Wow, you have quite a healthy relationship.
Well, but we are happy together, except for the sex.
No, I meant you and your mom. I think you should marry your mom.
Everything.
You know, Missy, when your father was porking me, back in the days when we was working at McDonnell Douglas there during the war effort, he used to come home during his lunch break, and I'd give him a quick blowjob before he headed back to help out the war effort. Praise the Lord and pass the ammunition. Amy.
Help me.
Yeah. I have you confronted him?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but in a non-confrontational way?
I mean, we'll sit down and I'll just try to talk to him about it.
And what does he say?
He just doesn't feel like it.
Is he on medication?
Or else he'll get after me because I keep bugging him. I keep dropping hints every day, and he'll say, well, that's what's turning me off, so then I'll quit. And
is he on medication?
Nope.
Is there anything else going on? Is he drinking a lot or doing drugs or anything?
He was drinking a lot for a while, but he's now with this third shift job, he can't.
You think there's any chance he's doing some drugs at all?
Nope, he doesn't do drugs at all.
This is tough, and I know he probably feels like he would like to change the subject immediately when you bring it up.
Yep.
Because he probably feels inadequate.
He's a little less than a
Yeah,
man.
right.
I mean, here's the deal. Men lose interest in sex sometimes. I mean, they're not that different from women. I mean, it's okay from a societal standpoint for a woman to go, I don't want any. And everyone goes, I understand how that goes. But when a man does it, he feels ashamed. He feels, he's made fun of. You know what I'm saying? So guys get very hesitant about saying anything. They don't want to. He probably tries to change the subject. He doesn't want to talk about it. He feels uncomfortable. I don't know. Would he go in? Could you guys do some therapy?
I'd be willing to do it. I'm not sure if he would. Maybe.
You ought to do that.
Yeah, I think there's some issues that you guys need to sort of tackle. I don't think it's one thing. I don't think it's your right breast dropped an inch and he's turned off. I think it's probably a collage of things.
Right.
Well, do guys have another spurt of how when they're teenagers and going through puberty and they have that?
No, it is a steady decline. It is a steady decline.
Yeah, but that doesn't.
Your husband's not 50, is he?
No, he's 26.
Oh no, don't worry. I'm hornier now at 31 than I was at 26. I had a little bump in my steady decline. I hit a little speed bump and something got jarred. But don't worry, I'll be back.
Good
All
luck,
right,
Amy. Talk to him. Try to get
Talk
some
to him.
professional help. Sounds like as long as you're committed to one another, you really do love each other, and there's nothing else going on in the relationship that's more.
And just approach it from that angle.
Yeah.
And let him know you don't need to get it done tonight.
But you're just worried it's symptomatic of something more serious. And it really, if you don't want to get professional help, really find a way to focus on the relationship. Go away, spend time by yourself, carve out time where you guys are just together by yourself, away from your kids, where you can focus on the relationship, focus on one another, and not be distracted by all these other stressors in your life, as work, your kids, other things, and maybe reconnect and rebuild back your relationship.
Or just start doing the pool man. What?
Do we have to do commercials now?
Well, we got 2 minutes. No, because
I don't want to do that.
I don't care what you want to do. Jimmy's been on hold for now
100 minutes.
Yeah. I was waiting for the thing to keep going, but obviously I pushed the button. Jimmy.
It's been forever.
Jimmy, you've been on hold for 100 minutes.
Pretty neat.
I'm sensing a little hostility. Go ahead, Jimmy.
No, everything's fine.
Okay.
Listen, is it bad for a girl to be penetrated after she's gone down on you using coke?
If she's using cocaine?
No. She put cocaine on Jimmy's penis. I'm guessing a small line. She, snorted it off your penis?
No, going down on me with it on there because it's an anesthetic.
Oh, wait. I gotta figure this out. I gotta sort this out.
She rubbed it on.
You
there.
rubbed
cocaine
on your penis,
which is a topical anesthetic. It's not that great for skin, but all right.
I've just heard that it's bad for a girl to get it in there.
It could be irritating, sure. Plus, you don't know what the heck cocaine is cut with. And what
You've never heard that before?
I've never heard of that before. I've never heard of somebody doing that, but I can imagine it would be terribly irritating.
Wait a minute, Drew. You never did an 8-ball, spilled a little powder on the schlong, banged a couple of broads, and had a little slop around in the mayhem. Never.
Never.
Not even in college.
Not even.
Jimmy.
Yes.
How old are you?
24.
All right. It's time to stop experimenting with your penis.
Call LoveLine. 1-800-LOVE-191. LoveLine will be right back.
We are rolling right along because we're almost out of time, almost out of week. Mike, you're on LoveLine.
All right. So I have a question for the doctor.
Real quick, Mike.
I want to know what the symptoms are for herpes.
Why?
Why? Because 8 months ago I ended a relationship with a girl, and I just found out a couple days ago that now she's got herpes. And I want to know, from what I hear, they're like red sores and stuff, but they pop up within 2 or 3 months.
2 or 3 weeks. 2 or 3 weeks typically, and they hurt and they burn, and they're sort of coalesced together, and you typically wouldn't miss them. Sometimes people do, and they tend to recur. That's that.
God bless him. Sean.
Yeah. Hey, Adam, I have a question for you.
Go right ahead. Make it fast.
All right. I have a huge crush on a professional athlete.
Which one?
He's a figure skater.
That'll work.
And I was wondering what you think I should do. Should I pursue it or should I not?
Is it Brian Boitano?
No.
Which one?
Actually, he's an amateur.
It's not that little Scott Hamilton. The guy looks like Chaka
No.
from Land of the Lost.
Gross. No.
No.
Scott Davis.
Scott Davis.
Yeah.
Never heard of the guy. Yeah, of course. What? Pursue it. He's an amateur figure skater. First off, you know he's gay, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Let me tell you about that. I don't have time to get into the sport of male figure skating. He's gay. Believe me, he's gay. You can see those guys when they have to work couples with the girls.
Mm-hmm.
You see them wincing when they have to. They're like, oh, ow, oh. Especially when they have to do that thing where they ram their palm in their crotch and all that. It's like they'd rather hold a sack of broken glass over their head, those guys. I say go for it, but first learn to skate. Oh, what a fantastic show we've had tonight, Drew.
Indeed.
This has been wonderful. What the hell is that banjo for? Is that
It's
the
fun.
end music?
It's fun.
All right, it's fun. Leave it on. Drew, give out the email and mailing address.
All right. If you want to write to us, that's P.O. Box 4345, Hollywood, California. 4345, P.O. Box, Hollywood, California, 90078. And the email is LUV191 on America Online.
Yes, I want to thank Lisa for screening phone calls. I want to thank the lovely Sherry for doing a wonderful job on the phone tonight. Good calls tonight. I want to thank the beautiful, lovely, and angular producer, Ann. Angular. That's lean and mean. I want to thank what would be the opposite of angular? I want to call Mike this. The curvaceous, the bodacious engineer Mike. I want to thank Scott back at the home camp. I want to thank myself, Adam Carolla. I want to thank Dr. Drew.
Thank you, sir.
And we'll see you Sunday.
So that's it then.
The opinions expressed on LoveLine by Adam Carolla, Dr. Drew, or anyone are not necessarily ours. Be happy. Be happy. Happy, happy, happy. LoveLine's producer is Ann Wilkins. Thank you. Thank you.